Breaking news. Welcome to today's headlines. The Emir of Gobiru killing, the Fulani versus Hausa armed conflict that could consume Nigeria. The Emir of Gobiru killing, the Fulani versus Hausa armed conflict that could consume Nigeria. To my dear listeners, from wherever you're listening from, please stay tuned as I read today's news, and please do ensure you like, subscribe and share. Now the details. A tragic event unfolded in Sokoto State on Tuesday when the Emir of Gobiru, Isabawa, was kidnapped. His abductors demanded a ransom of 60 million naira. Relatives, with the help of influential figures, including Sokoto State Governor Ahmad Aliyu Sokoto, were reportedly close to raising the funds. However, before the ransom could be paid, the kidnappers murdered the emir in cold blood. Shockingly, they then demanded payment before they would release the emir's body. This incident has been largely underreported by the media, overshadowing the deep-seated socio-political crisis brewing in northern Nigeria, a conflict that could potentially engulf the entire country. A deeper conflict? Unknown to many, the murder of the Emir of Gobiru is the latest episode in a long-standing intra-ethnic conflict between the Fulani and Hausa. For over a decade, this conflict has claimed thousands of lives, although it is often downplayed by the ruling classes of both ethnic groups. The Hausa and Fulani, though distinct, have often been politically grouped together as Hausa Fulani. However, decades of misrule, poverty, hunger and exclusion in the north have exposed deep interval divisions, previously masked by shared Islamic identity. The situation has been further exacerbated by the rise of Fulani far-right elements, particularly since 2015, when former President Muhammadu Buhari took power. This has intensified the asymmetric war between the Fulani and Hausa, which has now escalated into armed conflict. Despite attempts by successive governments to downplay the danger. The kidnapping and subsequent killing of the Emir of Gobiru is a brutal manifestation of this ongoing conflict. Gali Abdulaziz, a social commentator, described the event in Sokoto State as terrible. The Emir of Gobiru, a respected leader, was kidnapped from his palace. The kidnappers initially demanded 60 million naira and 5 motorcycles as ransom. Now, they refuse to release the emir's body until their demands are met. The murderer of the emir, a Fulani man, is believed to be linked to the ongoing radical and often violent agitation by the Hausa, who were the original inhabitants of the land before the 1804 jihad. This event, seen as a usurpation of the ancestral right, has fueled resentment among the Hausa. Before 1804, Gobiru was ruled by Hausa kings for over 700 years, flourishing under their leadership. The Hausa kingdom was centered in Alkalawa, in northwestern Hausa land. In the 15th century, the Hausa king expanded his rule, although it was briefly interrupted by the Tuaregs, who established the Sultanate in Agadez Gobiru regained its strength under Hausa rule and became fortified. In 1774, the Hausa king Bawa invited the Fulani scholar Uthman Fodio to Gobiru. Fodio from Fouta Jalon in Island settled in a small town called Digel and began preaching Islam. Initially employed as a teacher for the royal family, Fodio gained a large following among the poor Hausa by criticizing the burden placed on them by their rulers. However, tensions rose and in 1803, the Hausa king Yunfa exiled Fodio. Fodio then organized a small army of mainly Fulani nomads and launched the jihad in 1804, eventually overthrowing the Hausa rulers and establishing Fulani dominance. The resurgence of Hausa identity, the Hausa have now realized the need to reclaim their ancestral lands, which they feel were taken from them during the jihad. This realization has fueled a desire among the Hausa to assert their own identity, challenging the historical narrative of unity between the Hausa and Fulani. However, this demand is fraught with difficulty, as it would require the current emirs to abdicate their positions. The killing of the emir of Gobiru is likely to spark further violence unless both Hausa and Fulani leaders acknowledge the severity of the situation and take decisive action. The conflict, already spread into other parts of northern Nigeria, is driven by what many believe is an indigenous Hausa revolt, often masked by the label of banditry. Resolving this conflict will not be easy. It requires first and foremost an acknowledgement that a major problem exists. President Bola Ahmed Tinubu must bring together Hausa and Fulani leaders to identify the root causes of the conflict and development short-term, medium-term,